Hi, I'm Chris from Gears and Queers.
And I'm Chris from Sparkplug TV.
And this is Fun Girly Car Time.
I would like to circle back on this email after
I would
New Year's.
like to dodecahedron back. Circle's out.
Can we for 2024 say dodecahedron back?
Yes, because honestly, I feel like that's more descriptive of what a circle back actually is, because you take like 12 little stops along the way and then you finally get back to what you were doing and you're like, I'm a new person now. I'm not the same person that read that first email.
Right. New year, same me, just worse.
2024. I'm scared, mostly because I turned 30 in 9 days, but
happy early birthday, happy New Year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
It has been Christmas, it has been the New Year, several other holidays and celebrations of various cultures, and we are restored, moisturized,
rejuvenated
in our lanes.
I have been using a new moisturizer.
What is she?
Oil-free. So I'm trying to use oil-free moisturizer because I'm using celiac acid to extrapolate the moisture from my face, and then I have to replenish her. I'm trying to extrapolate the oil, not the moisture.
I want to remove the moisture from my face. Said nobody. Well, I grew up with very oily skin, so like I even like people talk about their skincare routines, and they're like, first I take 40 grit sandpaper and rip off my skin, and then I use a chainsaw. Like the way that people describe the shit that they do to their face is like insane to me, because I've tried so many things over the years.
Same.
And usually it just makes me look like I break out the worst I've ever had. And I know people are like, it has to happen, and then it goes clear. I'm like, she likes it when I leave it alone. She's oily. Yeah. She's like, I want to stay that way. I know how this works. But I love that for you. I love your new moistureless moisturizer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we learned about it over the holiday break, with which, if you haven't noticed, dear listener, we have not been posting this past week, witnessing the birth of our dear Lord and Savior, Jesus H. Christ.
Jesus H. Christ. Yes, we took a little... Are you okay?
And I also got sick over the break.
Are you still sick?
Yeah, well, I've got a cough still.
Wow, ew.
Thank you for your care and compassion. Thank you so much.
Ew. I'm definitely the kind with like the broom that's like there, like you're by the toilet barfing, and I'm just like, eh.
That's so comforting. I'm so glad.
Did you do fun girly car things with your little fun girly car time break?
Well, I had a fun girly Mazda 3 hatchback.
Cute.
That was fun. It was red. It had some of the worst blind spots I've ever not been able to see out of my entire life.
Those hatchbacks, those like, I guess that's the C-pillar. It's like
it's the entire C-pillar.
You didn't need window here. You didn't need anything. You just have this
anything.
Literally, like I have a friend that has one of those, and it's like you're in the car and you're like, and then the back seat windows are so tiny. They're like. And then it's like up here, like you are in that car.
Well, even the B pillar was so bad. Like and it had a blind spot monitoring, but the blind spot monitoring system would react to a tree
because it has gigantic fucking blind spots.
No, it was like the blind spot monitoring system was like detecting trees on a median, and I was like, "Girl, that is not."
You're like, that's behind me, and it's not a car.
But new for 24, it at least has been following the trend of steering assist above 40 miles an hour.
Oh, so she did not have that before, but now she does.
Well, it had steering assist under 40 miles an hour, but never over 40 miles an hour. So it was like a low-end traffic drive assist. It was the silliest thing.
They're like, so silly. Okay, we'll drive you around, but only really slowly.
Like Honda has had driver assistance like 2016. Like
my favorite, because like some of those early systems, like you said, they either don't go like higher speeds or they don't do stop and go. And my personal opinion, and this is like, we got pluses, we got minuses, but like if it doesn't do the stopping and going, then what the fuck is the point? I feel like the biggest drag on me is like if I'm in fucking traffic and like I have to keep like stop, go, keep up with the fucking car in front of me, like all that kind of stuff. When I was driving back from Savannah one time, I got stuck in traffic an hour outside of Atlanta, and of course I'm in my 1999 Mobile that is like, what? Like she's like, I have cruise control, like be thankful. But that was so fatiguing for me, is like the stop, the go, the stop, the go, the stop, the go. And so it's like if you get into a modern vehicle that has that and it can recognize when like the vehicle in front has moved and doesn't need you to like hit the gas or like something to get it to move, like that is exquisite to me. Like that is luxury. That is what I crave.
But you'll never get it because you
But
don't buy modern cars.
Maybe in like 25 years.
Yeah, when they're literally, well, I don't want to say flying because we thought we were going to have flying cars in the 80s. Like, so.
Baby.
No, like we thought in this time frame in the 80s that we would have flying cars. And look where we are now. We just have TikTok and we have 12-year-olds at Sephora trying retinol on. I mean, I don't. Asking for Stanley cups for Christmas, like I don't.
Perhaps the only thing Back to the Future got right about modern times is that people are still driving around really badly modified BMWs.
Oh,
you remember
true.
that? Do you remember that from like the future scene? It was like an E36. Yeah. No, 30. Who cares? It was something. God.
They don't listen for the accuracy, okay? They're not
listening for the 12-year-olds on retinol and Sephora. Let's be real. What's her routine? How does she buff and cut
the
her
only
face?
reason I know that is because I keep getting these TikToks about like these people that work at Sephora that keep having to interact with children at Sephora coming in and being like, I'm 9 and I'm on retinol, but my skin is burning. And it's like,
were they trained for that?
No, probably not.
She's like opening her little like Sephora manual being like, how do I help the infant whose skin is frying off because of chemical burns? Like, we live in hell. We live in hell.
We live in the 7th ring of hell for sure. Okay, since we can like barely get through me continuing talking about the Mazda 3, what about you? What did you do recently? Car related, hopefully.
Recently, well, today I took Miss ML, my 1999 ML320, to the shop because I've noticed that when taking off from a stop and when coming back to a stop, there would be like this click noise. Like not like a clunk, not like a creak. It was like a, and I was like, where? Who are you? Why are you here? I had just fixed.
You immediately like started to like flinch in your eye.
I did, because I had just gotten that secondary cat chopped off, and that was that rattling sound. And I'm like, what do you mean I could hear a new sound? And so I Googled it, which was probably a mistake, but it turns out I was right. No, like me trembling because like, you know, I was led to believe via my internet sleuthing that it was these torsion bar like bearing plates. And I don't know about you, but like, until earlier today, I didn't fully understand what a torsion bar was. I just knew they were there. I knew they were on the car. And I was like, that's so sweet. That's beautiful. That's amazing for you. It's the way that the front suspension on the ML is sprung. So it doesn't have coil springs on the front. It does on the rear. But on the front, and I'm going to do my best with my arms. This is going to be really fun and interactive. So like, there's these two rods that stick out from towards the front of the vehicle from like midway underneath it, and they are twisted, and that like by each front wheel, and that is how the springing is done. I am so sure there is a reason for why it is like that. I'm sure it's in one of those books I have.
So complicated.
It's a thing. It's they did that.
Just
good for
give
them.
it a shock absorber. I don't know. Why did they have to do that?
I don't believe they did that again after the W163. But anyway, so they are known to like crack these like little plates, and then they cause this like clicking noise. And then probably most people ignore that, but I'm not like
You're
most
Christopher
girls.
Landry.
Correct. So yeah, I took her in and I was like, please tell me if noise is what I think it is. And I was right. And I'm like still riding that high. Like all day at work, I was like, oh my God, I was right. Like, because I feel like every time you take your car in
God,
and you're like,
fucking torsion
oh my
plate.
God. I feel like even if I like think I know, like, what's wrong or like what the car needs, I always am like, it's gonna be somehow $73,000. Like it's gonna be like we're gonna have to like liquidate everything we own just to like put a quart of oil. Like it's like the anxiety, right? Like it's just nonsensical. But when it's what you think it was, when the repair is what you think it needed to be, and it's less expensive than you expected it to be, honey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's the ultimate high. That's the ultimate.
I drove home 37
Nirvana.
minutes in silence because I was marveling at the noise being gone. Literally, the shop is on the other side of town. It's in Decatur's, where we went to get fucking soup on accident. Like it's over there.
Yeah.
And I drove all the way back to my house in silence because I couldn't believe it. I was just like, it's gone.
I don't know if I would probably be one of those that would not care, nor know what a torsion plate is.
You're like, I'm simply turning up the Charlie XCX and I'm gonna go slap my hole onto something. And
what am I slapping my hole on?
honey,
The torsion plate?
is that his name?
No, his name is nobody right now. He is nobody right now. And that's fine. You know, I don't plan on living here much longer. I don't.
You're talking about nobody right now, as if like I feel like I could go back like within a 72-hour window of our messages and be like, I just got dick.
Yeah, true, but not like sentimental penis. like emotionally charged penis.
You took what I said, which was
like a relationship.
bad. You somehow made what I said worse, and that is beautiful. Emotionally charged. Can you put penis in the description? Can emotionally charged penis be the episode name?
Yeah, like a romantic. I think so. I could put an emoji.
Emotionally charged eggplant.
Yeah.
That sounds like a recipe from like a 23-year-old mom with purple hair. I need to know where you stand on this hot issue that currently I'm hyper-focusing on because it was on Facebook like maybe 30 minutes ago. People who drive until their car is like on fumes. No, like almost out of gas. Like distance to empty is like blank. She's confused. She doesn't know. Low fuel light on. Like I'm not one of those people that's like, if it's at like 7/8, I need that shit to be full. But like I feel like a quarter, fill up. Like get your life together. Where do you stand? Take a stand.
It's very rare that I will let the gas light come on. I think like if the gas light comes on, then I have to go get gas. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like I will not wait any longer. I will not drive any longer. I will just immediately direct it to the nearest gas station. But I think generally speaking, I probably, if I've got like 1/8 of a tank left, I will fill it up. But I've never gotten it down to like such an extreme that has like, I thought that the car was going to die. Like I've never experienced that.
I have a vivid memory, and perhaps this is why I feel so strongly about this. When I had my Infiniti, I was driving home to my parents in Savannah, and I was like, I don't need to stop. Like, I'll make it. And I'm like let's say 10 miles from the exit to like get to their house. And it has a little distance to empty calculator, like her little MPG screen, whatever. She's like beep beep boop boop. And it's like, I want to say it said like 22. And then it started like very rapidly going down. And it was like 17, 9. And then it just read 3 asterisks. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, and so like, I, mind you, at this point, the next exit is the only next gas. And I am like, oh my God, I'm about to run out of gas. Like, so perilously close, yet so annoyingly far from a gas station. And so I turn off the AC. I turn off everything in the car that consumes power. And I am like driving like 65 miles an hour in the right lane. And I'm like, please, I'm like, please do not run out of gas. Like, not now. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, what have I done to deserve this? And I make it to the gas pump. And I want to say that Infiniti had a 20-gallon tank, like an unusually large tank for a mid-size sedan. And it took like 18. So that bitch, when she is like screeching for you to fill up, still had 2 gallons left.
That's probably a fail-safe.
Like, it has to be, because like I had never, and I never did, like I had that car for 6 years. I never pushed that far ever again. I was like, no, I'm petrified. Like, she had a little beep of disappointment anytime that like it got to 50 anyway, 50 miles to empty.
Right.
And so like I was like, if that comes on,
a beep of disappointment.
No, literally it would go beep, and then it would be like 50 to E in the little center cluster, and I was like, ah, and then I would just go straight to a gas pump because I was like, I'm scared. But like, apparently that means I got like a quarter tank, because they're just like gatekeeping fuel in the fucking bottom of the tank so I don't run out.
They're gatekeeping, and they're gaslighting you by making you think that you have less than a gallon.
They're gaslighting me.
Because
my gas is light
on fuel. Yeah.
Is there a gas leak?
There might be. That reminds me of a story of my parents' neighbor had a gorgeous 6 Series BMW.
Ooh.
And oh my God, it was stunning. It was like black on black. It was awesome. He took it to a gas station and put what he thought was 93 in it, and ended up putting diesel in it. And he started it, and it like froze the engine, and he sued the gas station because they had put diesel in the 93 line, and he didn't choose that, and it happened to like a bunch of other cars, and so they ended up like paying, I think it was like $10,000, it was like $8,000 to $10,000, because they had to clean out the entire engine, because diesel had flooded the engine. I mean, like, it had just taken over, where the regular gas was supposed to be. Wow. And it's, yeah.
I remember reading specifically that the only real defense you have for that situation, because like that, from what you described, homeboy didn't pick up the diesel pump. He picked up like the 93 or, a gasoline pump. And so that's why I always get a receipt when I get gas, and I just usually throw it into the door, and then I have like a fucking sad ass pile of receipts, and I just like scoop them out every now and then. But like, the receipt will say like what product you paid for, so like regular, premium, whatever the fuck, right? If you don't get a receipt, where's your proof? And like something like that can happen at any time, right? And like, it takes like so much more compression to ignite diesel because it's compression ignition. And yeah, Ms. Gasoline engine is not going to like that. I think that most cars usually, like, you can, like, even if you cranked it for a minute, like, you can usually like clear out everything and be okay. But sometimes it can destroy your engine.
Yeah, I think that is what happened to his engine. Because I remember him I remember my dad telling me that he had to like redo the whole thing or something. I don't know.
Oh, R.I.P. to her.
But that every time I'm at the gas pump, not that I'm like putting diesel, but also like they had to remind us at Carvana like all the time to put diesel in the trucks, because they were diesel, and sometimes people would put gas in them and not really know that they were doing that. So yeah.
Have you seen any of those like TikToks and shit about it's like someone will call their dad and be like, hey, I filled up with the Christmas gas. to see what their dad will say, and it's like they're talking about Diesel, and of course they're like lying, but they're like trying to see what their dad would say if they find out that like they think they filled their car with diesel. I feel like you should do that with your father.
Christmas gas.
Like, yeah, the green one, the Christmas gas.
That's so silly. That is. I'm being nice. I'm being PC. That is really dumb. Oh, I also have I had the Crown for a week, the Toyota Crown.
How was that?
Still perplexing. Jake and I when we were when I was at the WAPA rally in Maryland and all of the OEMs were there, Toyota had the Crown there, but they had the Hybrid Max one that makes like 400 pound-feet of torque. I mean, it like 360 horsepower or something. It's crazy.
Wow.
And 0 to 60 in like 5.6 seconds. Like really fast, especially for like a full-size sedan that's not touted to be like some like, pavement destroyer. Anyway,
Right.
I still have in my possession the limited hybrid, which has got the 2.5 naturally aspirated hybrid powertrain. They're all hybrid.
That's that same one we talked about that you had in the Grand Highlander, I think it was, or
yeah. You know what's so funny too is that like I was talking to one of my clients today about it, and it's like Toyota's really just putting the same 2.4, 2.5 4-cylinders in like every single one of their products, and strapping some motor generators on it and calling it a day.
That, I mean, you see that a lot throughout automotive history, right? And something, I mean, shit, like if you want to talk about like Miss ML and her engine and transmission, they put that exact engine, that exact transmission, and various power handling capacities into every fucking thing they made. Like, I swear to God, that like one of the most incredible things I think happens when a company can do that and it not suck. Because if you hedge all your bets and then like the engine sucks and it blows up all the time or whatever, and then it's like, well, then you put that in everything. But I remember you singing the praises about the 2.5 naturally aspirated hybrid.
Yeah.
And talking about it being like very smooth.
It was smooth. It was smooth in the Grand Highlander, but it wasn't that quick. But it was actually quicker in the Crown. The 0 to 60 is like 7.6 seconds, so it's not faster, but it is. I mean, it's quick. I mean, it's pretty decent. I mean, it's all-wheel drive. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty zippy. I love the way that the exterior looks. I think it's gorgeous on the outside. I think it's, especially with the 21-inch whims.
Whims.
He's widowy doing the gwitty on the Toyota Crown. Should I start singing Skibbity Toilet now?
I'm gonna have a stroke.
Oh my god, I've been watching too much TikTok and I've been hanging out with my brother too much. So I love the outside. I think it's gorgeous. I think that the wheels are gorgeous. I think that the just overall exterior design really did a great job. The interior is just... I don't want to say that I don't like it fully, but I just think that something is missing. I think that they like tried too hard, and I think that it's just, there's something, it's just not finished. It just doesn't feel finished to me.
I need to look at
on
it.
The inside. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to make it like minimal, but they're also trying to make it look dynamic, like with the different levels on the dashboard and then like the dynamic fan on the right hand side. And then I do think that the way that they use piano gloss black minimally was well executed, in the sense that like the housing for the gauge cluster and the infotainment system, that's all they used, the piano gloss black. And I wish more people would do that, or at least be more cognizant of that. And I do like the brass touch of the small little brass touch around
the brass touch of brass.
I like the little brass detail on it. But it just, there's something else that needs to happen to that interior. I just am not a fan of it.
When I was just looking at it, the only thing I could think about, like, I agree with all of your points. The only thing I could think about was how it looks like the passenger is in their own little like cocoon because of that element that comes up from the center console and goes over like the upper dash. So it's like you're driving, you're like, baby, I got space, I got miles, I got room. But then you're in the passenger and you're just like, I'm compartmentalized. I'm in my spot.
That's an allegory.
Honey, she's caged. That's what I was looking for. Did you see the blank?
Yeah, I did. And I knew that the screen wasn't frozen. I knew that was you trying to short out a joke. It also has a moonroof and no opening. Like, it's just a panel of glass that is like also halved. No, it's like quartered by the B pillar. So you just get like the driver and the passenger get this little tiny little window, and then the back seat gets this massive window in the back. And I'm like, okay, it's a little rude. I'm the one driving. I don't know.
It's kind of giving that like landing strip slit
look
from the
up
Maximas. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait a second. What is this? What? Yeah. Are you talking about the strip?
Yes, the little like slit.
What the fuck is that about? I've never seen that.
They were, and I want to say they had like sideways shades, and then like the Quest minivans of the same period also had really funky sunroofs.
The fucking Quest minivans always. Those fucking minivans always trip me out. And then they got even weirder later on because they're just these like Nissan Cubes, oversized, and there's not anything interesting looking about it. It's like, let's try to look interesting by make it an interesting shape, but it just ends up being fucking ugly.
I liked, the first gen, or not the first gen, because there was one before that was like a Mercury situation, like switched together. But that like early aughts, like y'all really just made the cluster, y'all made the dashboard just fucking batshit insane. It's the closest thing we got to a Fiat Multipla. You know what I'm talking about? Look at her.
That is so silly.
It's like
it's got like a
one thing I hate, and you cannot convince me otherwise. I do not need my speedometer to be in the middle of the fucking dashboard, because you know where my eyes aren't fucking looking when I'm driving?
In the middle of the
middle of the fucking dashboard. Like, who did that? Scion did that with a bunch of the cars. Saturn with the Ion. Hello, honey. That was
Mini.
Mini.
Mini, the entire. Granted,
Mini was like, we're giving you an entire fucking spare tire glued to the fucking dashboard, and then we're giving you like an RPM, a tachometer on the steering wheel. The people, look at her go. I love her. The people driving like 6 cars behind you, if you're in a Mini Cooper, they know your speed.
People in the space station know your speed.
People in the ISS are looking down and they're like, there's some faggot in a Mini Cooper going.
Oh, you know what I got for Christmas?
I'm scared.
My brother got... It's so funny. I complained about this for the longest time because this is my favorite model, and he just like stole it from me, and he fucking gifted it to me. He stole
it and then gifted it back to you, and
yes. It's my 2000. It's my 2001 Ferrari 360 Modena.
I love her. Those are so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, are you a scale model girly? Do you have like 1.5 billion of them?
I have a small collection. I don't really have a whole lot of room for them. If I had a lot of room, I would probably have a lot of them. I have a 69 Mustang in Carolina blue, and then I have a Lamborghini Countach.
Ooh.
Because that is like my all-time favorite Lambo, and I probably still could not fit in it if I tried, but our dear friend Tom over at Tedward drove a yellow one the other day, and I almost shit myself.
Those cars,
that man gets to drive whatever he wants.
He do be driving. Illy Tom. Oh, Countach. You reminded me. So, like, my favorite thing about the Countach is how it looks like it was designed to be aerodynamic for what the 80s thought that meant. But it was actually so bad aerodynamically that they had to put that hideous front spoiler on it. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It was like, I don't remember exactly what the situation was, but just Google Countach front spoiler.
What?
Like on the fucking top of the front bumper because it was getting so much lift in the front. So they had to give it downforce in the front. Miss Girl
I have never seen that.
Miss Girl never saw a wind tunnel. She doesn't know her. Isn't that incredible though? Like that very like wedge, like Italian 80s like sports car moment. And it's so bad at cutting through the air that they had to put that fucking honking thing on it to keep you from like flipping over if you go too fast. It's perfect.
Why? But why have I never? What I want to know is why have I never seen that?
I have to imagine that it was fitted to a low amount of vehicles. / people get it removed because it's ugly.
It's god awful
It
looking.
might have been a special edition or something. I'm not sure exactly who got Miss Front Wing, but I do know that it's fucking hideous. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have any fun girly car time things coming up recently?
Coming up recently.
Or coming up? That was redundant.
There's
or nonsensical.
Some fun things that I still don't want to release yet, but that I have been working on that you are at least partially aware of.
Well, I at least have some fun girly car time things that I can talk about.
What do you have on your roster?
I'm going to the DC Auto Show on the 18th of January. I'm very excited about that. Very excited for the cars that may or may not be there. And then I am getting the Invista tomorrow, as well as the new CX-30.
Oh,
so
little bargain queens. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have 2 bargainistas tomorrow in my driveway.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I honestly am looking so forward to your thoughts on the Invista because I cannot believe how much space that little fucking thing occupies in my brain. Like that. And like I keep seeing a lot of the new Traxxas because like affordable car. But like I'm seeing them in like the yellow color. It must be one that I'm seeing the same.
I have never seen the yellow color. I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of the cacti green. I've seen a lot of the blue, but I've never seen the yellow.
I've seen, if not the same one, a couple of them, and I have seen the cacti green too. But no, I feel like it's like almost one of those moments where it's like, what did they fuck up? Because like they just seem to be so like affordable and like good for like a lot of things, except the fuel economy kind of sucks. But like I don't know, I'm ready to hear your thoughts and opinions on her.
I'm just ready to test out that fucking turbo 3-cylinder. I am interested to see what that sounds like. I'm interested to see what kind of output. Never. So I am interested.
They sound kind of good in a way that you're not ready for.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I mean, I've heard that like the 3 cylinders, the 5 cylinders, and then like the 6 cylinders sound good, and then 8 cylinders sound good, but like 4 cylinders don't sound very good depending. And then like, yeah.
The thing that I don't fully understand, I have actually watched some videos about why 4 cylinders don't quite sound right, especially because like V8s do. Mm-hmm. But the thing about a 3-cylinder is like, you know, it's half a V6, right? So it's like it has that like edgy sound to it, but it's in my opinion, it's like more aggressive and sporting generally, not exclusively, but generally so than a 4-cylinder. And so I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am excited for the... I'm also getting the tracks after that. I wish I had them at the same time. But you know what's so funny is that I love the Buick, and maybe because I'm an old man, but my brother, who just turned 20, loves the tracks. And my brother is like you in the sense that he doesn't like any new cars. And but he loves the track. He's like, he won't shut up about it. And I'm like,
really?
Okay, yeah.
That something about this needs to be studied. 2 small hatchbacky SUVs have been released, and people that normally wouldn't give 3/2 of a fuck about them are obsessed. This is a cultural shift.
It's the gay agenda.
You heard it here first. The gay agenda is the 2024 Buick Envista / Chevrolet Trax.
I think you just like the fact that the mic is like that, and that
It being up here is doing something to me.
it is. I see that,
I feel like it's making me perform.
honey. Me juicy ass.
My juicy ass.
And on that note, thank you all so much for listening to today's episode of Fun Girly Car Time, available wherever you listen to syndicated podcast programming, whether that be Google Play, Google Store, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and others. Most importantly, please do support us on Spotify. We do have our contributions open. You can either contribute to our little podcast with either 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. Cancel at any time. There's no contract, and you don't have to, but we would absolutely love it if you did. It goes right back into the podcast for advertising, for beard lotion.
For exotic chainsaws for your face.
For exotic chainsaws for your face. All jokes aside, it goes back to the podcast, like, surely. And huge shout out to YouTube. Thank you guys for watching us on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on there. And don't forget to rate and review and subscribe on any and all podcast platforms. I can't believe it took me a minute and a half to get to that point. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.